high live, kind of. It's in the weeds, on location at the XPO Canna in Uncasville, Connecticut. That's the home of Mohegan Sun. And you never know at one of these cannabis shows who you might run into that you already know, okay? And it's Megan Dobro. Hi, Megan. Nice to see you, too. Megan runs a lab in Massachusetts called Safetiva, and it just so happens she's in our networking group with Eric Robichaud from Green Goddess every Tuesday. So, hey, how's it going?
It's great. We're having a blast, and Safetiva's doing really well, and it's really nice to feel the energy in Connecticut, too.
You know what's going on in the testing world since it's your world. And the FDA just came out with rules about Delta 8 and CBD, and now I think they're going to be wanting to test those products too. Needless to say, your business could double, if not triple. Am I right?
Here's hoping. From your words to God's tears.
Well, I hope God listens and watches Pro Cannabis Media. Lord knows I love it. No, I'm only kidding. So, obviously, that's a game changer, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the amazing roller coaster of this industry is that you never know where it's going to go from 1 year to the next. So we're always on our toes.
That's why we call it Cannabis Standard Time, right? It's one step forward, two steps back. Forward, right? Well, thank you. That's what I do, Megan. You know that. How challenging is it to get consistency in the products that you test? Because I know that is really if you drill down on it, that's what everybody's most concerned about. We hear stories, of people perhaps, enhancing the test results for better THC content. To me, if you do that, it seems like it should be illegal.
Yeah, so depending on the product type, they're not homogenous to start with. Some are better than others, but the trick is using one lab to do everything, all of your testing, so that you get consistency from one batch to another. And then if your results change, it's because of something you did in your process, your facility, and not just the labs are different. There's a lot of variability among labs. And so choosing one that you trust, that gives you consistent results, that you know does it right and cares about accuracy, and then sticking with that lab is the way to go.
And you guys also test home grow products, don't you?
Yes, we do.
How much is that service and how does that work?
How much is it? So it's $50 for a full cannabinoid profile, and we'll give you all of the percentages and all the minor cannabinoids as well. And we need 1 gram of material. So bring 1 bud to our facility in Westfield, Massachusetts. And we typically give you results next day, at least under 2 days, and we'll email you a PDF certificate of analysis to you. Yeah.
I'm guessing, what's the percentage of home growers who take advantage of that, or do they even care?
So there aren't many labs that welcome home growers, and we're one of them. And so we actually do a lot of home grower business. And we love it because we get to learn about the community and really from a grassroots level get to know the consumers, the growers, and what they really care about. So we do a lot of home grower services in Westfield.
Can you say cannabidiol 3 times fast? By the way, you know all the names of the cannabinoids, right?
I do.
And the terpenes are even worse,
yes,
right?
Terpenes are.
So as someone who teaches oral communication skills, I'm going to use those for pronunciation because they're all really challenging, right?
Yeah. I come from an academic background, so teaching. And the words are often the things that trip people up the most, and it makes it feel like there's this barrier to entry, like it's not accessible to everybody, but the scientists screwed up the names too, or we come up with nicknames and it's alphabet soup.
All right, THC is
hydrocannabinol.
Hydrocannabinol. See, kind of, sort of. That's why they call it THC, by the way. Very simple, right?
Yeah.
Megan, what do you think is the future of this industry? Is it in testing? Is it in growing? Is it in beverages? Is it in cannabis social clubs? Is it, there are so many elements. Cannabis travel now. Where do you kind of see the industry morphing into? And again, this is just your opinion.
That's the hard questions.
That's what I'm here for. At least I made you laugh too, didn't I? Okay, good. That's all I care about.
I'm seeing a really strong wave of beverages. That's certainly a trend that's coming. The huge manufacturing companies are getting into beverages, so that's going to be big. What I'm hoping is that the industry promotes the small craft growers that are really doing it for the labor of love, and they care about their product, their finished product, as opposed to the giant MSOs that are just like churning out harvest after harvest and can afford to do some of the sneakier things.
But here's the thing about the MSOs, and I understand the riff. I understand that the MSOs are focused on making money because they have board of directors that they have to listen to. Some of them are publicly traded. So I get why they do what they do. I do know that some of the MSOs are actually looking to develop social equity programs, which I think is a good way to handle the craft situation and helping those who are most impacted by the failed war on drugs. We all want that to happen, right? I also don't think people understand. We're like 5 years into this, but there are 22 states. 21 states that are legal. I jumped to the 22nd because I know there's going to be one in the next week or two. That being said, do we have the MSOs play an important role in the development of the industry? You understand that, right?
Yes, and we all look to them to be the models of what the industry could be, and we want them to have integrity and do what's right. Certainly, there's a lot of momentum that they build that we all look to. I'm hoping that big tobacco and alcohol stay out of the industry nationally, and I'm hoping that we all value the craft grows locally that have been around forever. Your friend Joe, who's been growing in his basement for 20 years, makes good stuff, and I want to make sure that
Joe.
he's a good buddy of mine. I want there to be space for everybody in the industry, and it'll be really interesting to see where this goes in the next couple of years.
Creating win-win collaboration is what this industry should be about. Unfortunately, when money gets involved in power and ego, it can be challenging, even more challenging than it already is. I don't know how long that's going to last. I'd like to see the trend more to can't we all just get along, right?
Yes, totally agree.
The pie's big enough.
The pie is big enough, yeah. It depends on how it gets split up. And we've always valued being a part of the community that we're serving. And we couldn't do what we do if we were totally disconnected from our community. So I can't imagine from a testing perspective being so big and in so many states that you're no longer personalizing your services. So I can't imagine how the growers and the producers are doing that either. You have to really know your community and your market locally.
Know your audience, know your customer, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that's Megan Dobro from Safetiva. And they have a testing lab out there in Westfield, Massachusetts. You should check out, especially if you're growing your own. Find out what's in it, okay? That's a good thing. We're going to continue to walk around the XPO Canada here at Mohegan Sun, but there's more and more interviews to come on In the Weeds with Jimmy Young. Don't go away.